Hi, I'm Robbie Stapleford, driver for BS+COMPETItion in ESLR1. My racing journey started when I was about 8 years old in Carlton. Family grew up doing motorsport, cousin races motorbikes internationally, so it's pretty much been in the family a while. So I pretty much did karting up until the coronavirus happened. And then at the end of 2020, we all pretty much went, and all of those cars went, oh, we're going to try some iRacing now. I got good at it and started thinking, oh, this is going well. So start of 2021, I started entering some competitions. Qualified for, at the time, was British GT Esports, which was being run on ACC. And then I just kept on progressing, started doing some endurance races on ACC. And then at the start of 2022, my career pretty much took off. I joined G2 Esports. I stayed with them for 2 years doing endurance races in ACC. Last year I started doing ESLR1 with them. And then at the start of this year, I joined BS+COMPETItion. And yeah, it's been good ever since. It's really enjoyable. All the guys are really helpful. And yeah, I can't wait to see where this goes. And it's only progressing, so. My first sim setup I acquired was a Logitech G920. I used to play on PlayStation. I used to do a bit of F1. My dad helped me out with getting the rig and everything. I was a bit too young to have any money, so he helped there. And yeah, I started off small and then gradually making my way up. And my first race experience in sim racing was the second round of British GT, which I qualified for as I missed the first round. Was strong in qualifying and then ended the race in P2 or P4, I can't remember which, but it was the first time ever doing a proper professional esport race, and I think it went really well, and looking back, it was probably a very, very good start. Now that I've finally got my driver's license, it's been difficult trying not to speed, because we're always pretty much going full throttle. So it's been difficult trying to go for the speed limits. But yeah, it's quite nice to now be able to drive on the road. And yeah, just take not what I've learned in sim racing, because I can't really do that on the road. But yeah, it's good to be able to drive in real life as well. The transition from ACC, which is where I started, to Rennsport was difficult at the start. It was quite a bit like R Factor 2, which I didn't really get on with. But after a while, it started getting more used to it. And then they've just been progressing the game more to my style, which is good for me. And the minute is going well. I'm quite enjoying driving Rennsport. It's quite nice to drive. The people and stuff what I've attributed most to my success, it has just been the people around me, especially my dad. He's been there since day one in karting, doing all the stuff with me, trying to get techniques and everything right. I think the karting especially has helped me with driving wise in sim racing. But yeah, I've got to praise everyone around me, what's been helping me, and I probably couldn't once have been here without them. So yeah, I think they're the only people I can praise, really. It's obviously I probably could have done it myself, but probably not gotten as far. I especially got to say a big thank you to Flo for this year. It wasn't really looking good at the end of last year, and he brought me in, and now it's all smiles and joy. So my first involvement with BS was 2022, but obviously G2 was partnered with BMW at the time, so we was quite, obviously BS is also another part of the team with BMW, so we was quite involved with each other, and I was in good talks with Niels at the time. He's obviously another ACC driver, and I've only just met Flo probably last year, or in the middle of 2022, so there's always been the talk there, and then last year was especially the talk when stuff didn't go well with G2, and at the end of the year I needed another team, and Flo was luckily there to help me and take me in, and ever since January, it's been absolutely brilliant. We've done a media days in Munich, having tours around BMW factories. A couple months ago, we did a road trip in Italy with 5 M4s, so we got to drive them. Luckily, I just passed my driving test, so that was good. Otherwise, I would have missed out on that opportunity. So yeah, I couldn't ask for more for this year. It's been amazing, and definitely a lifetime experience, one I'd always remember. A typical day for me and as the life as a professional sim racer would be 2 years I was doing college while I was doing this. So I would have woke up at 7 a.m., went to college, came back and practice. Luckily now I've finished college. So now it's wake up at anywhere from 8 till 10 a.m. I have a bit of breakfast, relax a bit, and then when it's lunchtime, I start to jump on the rig, do some catch up with some messages, do some practice, hop on with the team in the evening. We do some race runs and do stuff like that and make sure we're ready. And yeah, I mean, it's not really much. It's probably a lot for the average person, but yeah, it's better than doing a 9-to-5 job. That's for certain. My most memorable achievement in sim racing so far was 2022 SRO Esports. I came second in silver class, but it was my first year competing professionally, and was driving around with the best in the world at the time, and I was this close to winning, but the last round didn't go my way. But yeah, I would say that's probably the most memorable sim racing achievement so far. Other than that, it's probably coming second at Spa 24 Hour. That was good, long race. Anything can happen until pretty much the last 10 minutes. So yeah, I mean, it's probably that. There is another one, I would say probably just going to Katowice at the start of 23. It was a really achievement because I didn't have the best result, but the environment and actually going to a place which is such a big history in esports, especially CS, was absolutely amazing to be in that scenery at the time to open this new journey up. I maintain the level of competitiveness I have, especially during races, by just knowing and being confident that I know I can do it. My strong point has always been races and especially overtaking. So as long as I have the mentality of that, I know I can do the racing, and I know I can pretty much overtake without any problems. You've just got to stay confident and know your ability with what you're working with at the time. And yeah, you just got to stay with that, and it always comes out good. To represent BS competition and BMW within ESLR1 especially is an absolute pleasure. It's so good to especially represent BS. They didn't have a great season last year, and to finally get good results for them, and to see the smile on Phil's face but for the results we're getting is absolutely amazing. And then to do that with BMW as well, and having Timo and Yannick backing us, it's a real pleasure, especially with such a prestigious brand. BMW is in motorsport and they've been around ages doing real life especially, and now they want to try and take off in sim racing, and I'm glad to be one of the people what are making this happen. Some hobbies and interests I have are golf. Me and Dad have just started golf recently. It's been going okay. I wouldn't say on PGA Tour yet, but yeah, it's quite fun and enjoyable to have some weekends with Dad again. Obviously, we're not doing karting anymore, so I don't really get to spend as much time with him anymore. Other than that, I like to play a few different games. Sometimes with mates, sometimes with team members. And yeah, also, other than that, and also see my girlfriend. Gotta put her in there or she'll get a bit upset. My goals and aspirations for the future within sim racing and in my life in general is to hopefully make this a full-time career. I'm only young and I'm racing against people what I've been racing the same amount of time as I am been born. So hopefully I can make a career out of it and maybe win EWC. I don't know. It's looking good. But yeah, I can only get better within some racing with more experience, and at the minute it's looking good for the age I am and where I am in the minute. Yeah, other than that, within my own life, it's just to make a good living. And yeah, I mean, I can't ask for much more. Some advice I'd give to young and new sim racers what want to become a part of maybe WC or become professional in another game. I would just say, just dedicate yourself and make sure that you don't lose interest in sim racing. Obviously, other things can take over once you start getting older. So it's just try and dedicate as much time as you possibly can. Try and get in with some good people what can maybe help you. There's always people around what are always happy to help, especially young new talent. I know we've got a young lad called Alan, he's really good, really nice lad. He's slow to getting up, and I mean, the only thing you can tell him is just to keep on going. That's the only thing you can tell him. You can only help as much as you can. They've obviously got to control the racing. You've just got to dedicate as much as you can, and it will come when it comes. Do I have any aspirations for real world motorsport? Yes, I did, especially when karting. I actually had a go at the Ginetta Junior, which is a series in Britain. They do a scholarship. I actually had a go at that. Finished off 8. I got out for something what wasn't in my control, but what can you do? It's motorsport at the end of the day, and you can only go as far as you possibly can. Would I love to do it in the future? Definitely. If BMW want to give me a drive, that would be great. Otherwise, I mean, you just got to wait and hope that sim racing either takes off or that I win the lottery.